Hello, this is Audriana, and I am going to give you my presentation of shaping sound, which is going to talk about how we shape sound waves to create different speech sounds. So first I'm going to talk about how we make the ooh sound. So it all starts with our vocal folds. This slide is sort of in general for any sound. So in our larynx, at the top of our trachea, we have two pieces of tissue that adduct and abduct, creating vibrations, also known as a sound. It creates sort of a buzzing sound, which we do not hear because we have cavities in our vocal tract to create the sounds that we actually hear that come from our mouths. This buzzing sound that comes from our vocal folds is our natural frequency, or the frequency at which our vocal folds vibrate. And this is dependent upon length, density, tension, and stiffness. A vowel quadrilateral can help show us tongue height and advancement for all of the vowels. As you can see, the vowel oo is a high, a back vowel that is also rounded. This means our tongue is high toward our palate and in the back of our oral cavity. And additionally, our lips are rounded or protruded forward. Our lips can also be known as our labial valve. Moving on to the resonance of the sounds that we create. So back to those buzzing sounds that come from our vocal folds, then move through our resonators, which are all shown in this picture. So we have a few different cavities. The laryngopharynx, oropharynx, and nasopharynx are all our pharyngeal cavity. Our oral cavity here in kind of that greenish, and our nasal cavity in blue. So movement of our tongue, velum, jaw, and lips, our valves create different volumes and shapes of our cavities to amplify or attenuate frequencies, which is also known as filtering of those frequencies. So we have what is called a band pass filter, which passes energy in a range between a low and high cutoff frequency. Harmonics close to our resonant frequencies are amplified, and the rest of those are attenuated to create those different sounds that we hear, such as ooh or ah. So at the bottom of this picture here is the shape of the vocal tract for the vowel oo. You can see that the tongue is high and back in the oral cavity as the vowel quadrilateral showed us. And that movement of the tongue changes the shape of our pharyngeal and our oral cavity. The longer the cavity or resonator, the lower its resonating frequencies are, a lower pitch. So the height of the tongue, created by our lingual valve, that is our tongue, creates a fairly large pharyngeal volume, or longer tract, and a tightly constricted vocal tract, so therefore a low F1. The lip rounding of our labial valve, our lips, causes the vocal tract to become longer, creating a lower or darker pitch or lower frequency. So this is our vocal tract filtering to create the sound ooh. So we have excuse me, an irregular shaped acoustic resonator, which means it is broadly tuned, creating a broad range of frequencies. So that's why we can say all of the different sounds that we can say to create speech. We have what is also called a quarter wave resonator, which is closed at the glottis and open at the lips, closed at one end and open at the other. And this also means that the lowest resonating frequency resonates at a wavelength 4 times its length. And our resonator is also called a variable resonator. It changes shape to create different sounds, like the way our vocal tract I had showed was shaped to create the vowel oo. So we always have that same fundamental frequency that comes from our vocal folds, that buzzing sound, but that is shaped in all the different ways in our resonators to create a certain sound. So the fundamental frequency and resonating frequency are independent of each other. So to sort of sum all of that up, I'm going to talk about the source filter theory. So there are 3 parts to this. There is the source function, the transfer function, and the output function. So the source function is obviously the source. It is that buzzing sound that comes down here from our glottis. The transfer function is the sound that is resonated through our vocal tract. It's those frequencies that are being filtered, either amplified or attenuated to create a certain sound. And the output function is the sound that comes out of our mouth. So that is the filtered sound that sounds like an ooh or an ah or an e. It has that same fundamental frequency that we create from our glottis, but has been modified by our cavities and valves and filters to create a sound. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about how we create the sound So the sound is what we call a nasal consonant, because the movement of our velum right here, instead of being over here and closing off that nasal cavity, it opens so that our vibrations can go up and escape through our nose instead of through our lips. So as you can see also, our labial valve is closed and nothing is escaping from there. So our nasal cavity and our pharyngeal cavity and sort of that oral cavity are all used, creating a longer vocal tract. Plus our nasal cavity kind of absorbs those sound, the membranes in it. So this all creates a lower amplitude to create And that is all I have for you. I hope that all made sense. Thank you for listening.